Welcome to the Hess Archives and Special Collections at Elizabethtown College. This brief video will introduce you to archives and special collections, and specifically the types of materials that we have here in the Hess Archives at Etown. I find that many students just starting out here at Etown are very familiar with libraries, but may have never visited an archive or special collection. Having a rich and varied archive on campus is one of the many benefits of attending a college like Elizabethtown. Archives, like libraries, make information available to researchers, but they differ from libraries in several ways. Archives generally consist of unpublished materials and materials that are unique to the repository. Archival materials are more likely to be rare and/or fragile. For these reasons, most archives and special collections materials do not circulate. In other words, you cannot check them out like a library book. If you want to use materials in person, you will likely need to make an appointment and/or register in advance. The archive or special collection will also likely provide guidance on safe handling. For example, they will likely ask you to not use pens or markers. They may provide gloves for handling some materials, and they will ask you to keep food and drinks out of the reading room. The policies we have in the Hess Archives are posted on our website under Research Policies. The types of materials in archives and special collections can vary quite a bit. Paper-based collections are common and can include items like letters, diaries, business records, maps, scrapbooks, and much more. Archives also contain audiovisual materials like photographs, sound recordings, and motion picture film. Some archives and special collections, including the Hess Archives, also contain artifacts and artwork, but these types of materials are more often found in museum collections. Contemporary archives also contain digital files, including both physical materials that have been digitized and what we call born digital materials, or in other words, materials that were created in a digital format. An example of digitized material in our collection are the college newspapers dating back to 1934 on our website. An example of a born digital item would be a recent course catalog, also available on our website. Unlike library collections, which are organized by subject matter, archives are usually organized by the creator of the materials, be it a person, family, or organization. For example, in the college archives, we file materials by the department that created the records. Archives also try to keep materials in their original order as much as possible, so that researchers can learn from the context in which the materials were used by the creator. For example, in the case of the Dennis L. Hughes photographs of the Amish in the Hess Archives, we've kept the subject organization that the photographer used himself to store his slides. There are many different types of archives and special collections, and each repository is unique. Examples include college and university archives, government archives, corporate, museum, historical societies, religious archives, as well as special subject-based archives. The Hess Archives is an example of a college archive, a religious archive, and a special subject-based archive. We collect materials on the history of Elizabethtown College, as well as materials on Anabaptist and Pietist groups. Elizabethtown College was founded by members of the Church of the Brethren, an Anabaptist group, and we collect the records of local Church of the Brethren congregations and districts. The Hess Archives works closely with the college's Young Center for Anabaptist and Pietist Studies to both collect and interpret materials. In addition to the Church of the Brethren, we specialize in materials on Amish life and culture, global Anabaptism, the Ephrata community, as well as peace, reconciliation, and experiences of war. We also collect select personal papers of Anabaptist and Pietist scholars. I hope this video gave you a good introduction to archives and special collections, and specifically the materials we have here at Elizabethtown College in the Hess Archives. If you have any questions or would like to schedule a research appointment, please feel free to contact me, Rachel Grove Rohrbaugh, at grovr@etown.edu.